everybody, Joe DeFelice, Regional Administrator of HUD Mid-Atlantic, back with another Mid-Atlantic Meetup. As you know, due to COVID-19, we can't be out in the field traveling, so we've tried to travel virtually. We've been from Erie down to the Tidewater, Newport News, and everywhere in between. Today, we're going to be in around the National Capital Region. We have with us Tisa Clark, President of J.D. Clark Professional Services, as well as Marvin Turner, who's our Field Office Director in the National Capital Region. One of the things we want to talk about is Section 3. For those that don't know, Section 3 is a HUD program. Essentially says that if HUD money is coming into the community, we need to hire workers from that community. Let me hear a little bit about your business, hear how you started, and tell me a little bit about what you do.
Well, thanks, Joe, for having me. So my journey started with me being an executive at Freddie Mac, and I left there to start this business. I left at the time when the bottom fell out of real estate and we were seeing such a surge in REOs. And I knew our inner cities were going to be affected tremendously around the number of vacant and blighted and abandoned properties in those communities. And as I got out and began doing property preservation, maintenance, and improvements on those buildings, I began leveraging those residents because I noticed that they were either unemployed or underemployed. And when you're doing REO work, it's not much skill involved. You can have regular laborers, you can teach them how to work a lawnmower, and really have a sense of pride in their own communities as they began to transform. And as we began to grow and work with CHODOs and housing agencies, we in turn began to support small businesses, the mom and pops that were trying to be out there and get opportunities, again, in their communities that they're living. So it's been a great experience.
So awesome, because I mean, you hit the nail right on the head. You talk about the idea of giving people an opportunity, and that's what Secretary Carson's all about. From the day he's gotten in, he's talked about self-sufficiency. A lot of what we do here at HUD is to drive to build people up. I say, we can build housing 40 years, tear it down and build more housing. But if we start investing in our people, sky's the limit. And that's what you've done on the local level. You've really started investing in people and helped break that intergenerational poverty cycle. And I got to give the DC region credit. Marvin, a lot of this is happening in DC. I don't see it as much throughout the rest of Region 3, but in DC, that whole area, Section 3 is really taken on. So tell me a little bit about your experience as the field office director down there.
Sure. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Tisa. So first of all, let me just say it's part of a team, right? So I've got great people working with me. Number one is Belinda Falamola. So we really targeted some of the housing directors, some of the housing authorities to push Section 3. Let me give you an example. One of our housing authorities, the DC Housing Authority, for instance, actually increased some of the jobs by over 150% in a short period of time. Now, in addition to having Section 3 jobs, we really want to promote in our area Section 3 businesses, because that's how you build long-term intergenerational wealth in our communities. So Joe, you and I had an opportunity to visit with Tisa in Prince George's County and see some of the great work that she's doing there. She's an inspiration. And right here on this camera, when we do our Section 3 training this year, we certainly want to have Tisa to be one of the speakers if we can get it. So I hate to put you on the spot like that. I know the answer is yes, but we're going to move forward on this. Thanks.
Thank you, Marvin. And you're right. We were out in Prince George's County with Tisa. We walked up and down several blocks, and we've seen the work that her team put in. And again, these aren't about jobs, right? It's about careers. It's not dustpan and brush jobs. Far too often, people are giving people dustpan and brush jobs where they give them a job, but they don't really learn any appreciable skills. Like you're actually talking about building skills and building worth. And that's what we're trying to do with Section 3. So we actually are working at HUD to streamline, to make Section 3 more user-friendly and get the results we desire. However, one of the things that's happened, Tisa, is COVID-19. We weren't expecting this. I know it's affected your business, but how has it changed your business? I know that you were recently as a guest of President Trump at the White House and talked a little bit about it. So tell me a little bit about how this has changed your business and how you're responding.
So, yes, it was an awesome experience to be invited to the White House about a week or so ago. It was so surreal to be able to share my story, particularly around one of the federal programs, the Paycheck Protection Program, which I was able to secure funding to keep my employees on payroll. And so it was an awesome experience to do that. And currently, because of the pandemic, we have suffered a 54% loss in revenue compared to where we were this time yet last year, because we are working with those housing agencies and CHODOs, and they are limited in their capacities and their workloads because of the orders we have from our governor. But one of the things that I've done in pivoting is actually providing some knowledge share. So I'm actually doing some consulting with small businesses, smaller businesses, micro businesses, and actually assisting them in their pivoting. So therefore that they can be prepared to either sustain during this time and be ready to pounce once this is over.
Well, Tisa, I'm confident that you're going to rise again. I know that our country's going to be back. Thank you for all that you do. You lift people up. And that's what this is all about. That's what this country's about. That's what this program is about. So where can people find you online?
So our website is www.jdclarkps.com. That's J as in John, D as in David, CLARK, P as in professional, S as in services.com. And all of our social media tags are at JDCLARKPS.
Wonderful. Well, listen, keep up the great work. I look forward to seeing you again in person, hopefully sooner rather than later. Marvin,
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us as well. You guys are awesome, and we'll touch base soon.